Now, for those of you who've been following along, this is Module 5, and in Module 4 we did go over that song, but you might be noticing that I'm not playing it in the same place. Before, we were at 7, 9, and 10 for that run. Now we're on 2, 4, and 5. So in essence, we've just taken these numbers, 7, 9, and 10, and for each one of them, we've subtracted 5. And we end up with 2, 4, and 5. Why that is because the string I'm playing on now is the 5th string. Before we were playing on the 6th. But now we're on the next highest string. And the reason we can play that 5 frets down and get the same notes is because this note here is 5 frets lower than this note. What do I mean by that? If you use your tuner, you can easily tune E, A, D, G, B, and E just by watching the tuner. If you want, you can tune each one of these strings. Well, I'll go through each one individually, but first of all, we'll just talk about the 6th and the 5th string for now. So basically, our first string, or 6th string I should say, the lowest is E. Okay? If we want to tune properly the next string up, because it's higher, we have to take this string that we know is in tune and raise it up 5 frets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you press down on 5, and remember, something I haven't talked about, and I should mention it now, is that as you're playing, whether it's chords or notes or whatever, when you're going to play a position and you're going to go to a certain fret, in this case we're on 5th fret, you always want to play to the high side of that fret. What I mean is this. I'll come up close. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, here's where 5 is, and there's the 5th fret is right here. You want to play as close to that fret as possible without being on top of it. So right up against it. Now you can play lower on the same fret, but then you start getting a buzzing. So always play on the high side of the fret no matter what fret you're playing. So we've taken the low string, which is the 6th string, and we've raised it up by fretting it. We've raised it up 5 frets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So what we've done in essence is moved that one up 5 tones up. 5 semitones up. I'll go into what a semitone is later. But anyways, so here's 5, and then you play the 5th string open. And they should sound the same. So in essence, this one here is the same as playing the lower one 5 frets higher. Make sense? So when we do 7, 9, and 10 on the lower one, we can get the same thing by doing 2, 4, and 5. So, what I'm going to introduce to you now is known as a power chord. Okay? We'll go over open chords and bar chords later, but for now, here's a power chord. And in essence, you're playing this note here, and you're going to play the lower string open together. So if you do nothing but down strokes on this, these are down strokes, right? Just straight down. when you play that formation, that shape, I guess is what some people call it, when you play this shape of a lower note here and the next string up, and it's 2 frets higher than the lower note, that's a chord. So if I was to take that lower note, which is E in this case, and move it up 1, now if I play this note here again on second, it sounds horrible. It's not a chord. If you play open and second together, it's a power chord. If you play 1 and 3 on the next one, now this is going to be a bit of a stretch. If you're having trouble doing this one, use your baby finger. But again, they're 2 frets apart. So you've got the lower string on 1 and the next highest string, the 5th string, on 3. That becomes a chord. So again, let's review what we were talking about. We're on second on the 5th string, and we're on open on the 6th. You play them together, and you get a chord. They're 2 frets apart. This one's 0, or open, and this one's 2. Same thing if we go to 1 on the lower string, and then add 2 for the next string, and you get 3. Same thing as if we move up to 2. Now we're on 2 on the 6th string. Okay, don't lose me here. 2 on the 6th. Now the 5th string, in order to play a chord, we have to go 2 higher than that. So we're going to go to the 4th. Again, I'm using my baby finger. You can use your baby finger too. And that is a power chord. Okay? That shape, what they call a shape, as long as you don't change that, you can play a power chord anywhere on these 2 strings. In essence, I could play a whole song. I don't expect you to know this, but I'm just going to quickly go through what is known as a chord progression using nothing but these power chords to show you how easy it is to put these together and actually start playing music. I've already put together a complete chord progression, something I could sing to and make a song out of, and all I'm doing is playing 2 notes. And those 2 notes again are whatever the lower note is, whatever fret that is, whether it's open, 1, 2, whatever it is, then you take the next highest string and play it 2 frets higher. So if it's open, then the 5th string is played on 2. If it's 3, the 5th string is played on 5, right? 3 plus 2 is 5. So just remember that for now. This is what is called a power chord. So have fun with that, and we'll see you at the next module.